boys and girls. It's Miss Lisa, the art teacher. Welcome back to my table of art. It's been a while since we've been together. I just want to let you know I miss you all very, very much, each and every one of you. I hope you don't forget me, even though we have not been together, because I have not forgotten any of you. So, I hope you're doing my art projects. I hope you're enjoying them. I'm doing the best I can through a virtual world. But I have good news. We are going to see each other again. They're saying it on the news that the good news is coming, and that makes me happy, which means it's one step closer to us being together. So good news is on the horizon. So just hang in there, and we'll be together again, I promise. Okay? So, today I want to talk to you about the Native Americans. Those are the ones that were on the United States before anybody else came, like Christopher Columbus, everybody. The Native Americans were here first, period. And there's many, many, many different tribes throughout the United States. Today I would like to talk to you about one specific tribe. It's called the Ojibwes, the Ojibwe Tribe. They're also known as the Chippewas, and they're out of Minnesota. Do you know where Minnesota is? I think I have a picture of Minnesota here for you. Minnesota connects up by Canada. You know, Canada is above the United States. And Minnesota is right below the United States, right next to Lake Superior. So there goes. Here's a map of the United States. Here we go. And this green one, the green state over here, the light green, that's Minnesota. Up here is Canada. And Lake Superior is right next to it. We're all the way over here. We're in New Jersey. We're over on this side. There's Florida, New Jersey, California's on this side. Minnesota's the light green. Anyway, that's where the Ojibwes came from. Also known as the Chippewa. So, let me tell you what they did, what they brought to us. They are the originators of what we call dreamcatchers. Okay? Have you ever heard of a dreamcatcher? Yes, that is the circular woven form that catches bad dreams. There's another Native American name for that, the original name for it. It's called the Asabikashin. I think I pronounced that right. Asabikashin. That's the inanimate form of the word spider. Why spider? Well, legend has it that the Spider Woman is the one that started the dreamcatcher. The Spider Woman in Native American legend is the woman that is the custodian. She's the one that watches over all the infants and all the adults. Kind of like a protector. Kind of like your guardian or your mom or your dad. A protector. So she had so many that she had to watch over that she had to figure out a way to protect them while she couldn't see them all. So she put all the women in charge of weaving these dream catchers. Now, when they were first made, they used the branches from willow trees. A willow tree is a very flexible kind of a branch, and she would form them into a circle, a couple of branches together to create the circle. And she chose the circular form because it's the Earth's shape, the same shape as the Earth, round. And the beautiful cords and yarns that you see on these more modern dream catchers, they were not anything like that. She used sinew. Now, what is that? Okay, if you could see inside your body, you have all kinds of bones and muscles. Well, something kind of connects those two, keeps them in place. It's like a stretchy kind of a fibrous something. It's called sinew. That's what she used to make the weaving pattern inside. So you have to understand, the Native Americans, they didn't waste anything. If they killed a buffalo, they ate every scrap of that buffalo. And what they couldn't eat, they would use for their shelters to create tents. They would use for warmth to create blankets and coats and drapes over their bodies. They would use the bones for the marrow. Marrow inside bones is very good for you. They would create tools that they could use with the bones, nothing went to waste. And the spider woman would use this sinew to make the weave that's in the center of the dream catcher. Now we have cords and yarns and strings, all kinds of modern things. But back then, it wasn't as pretty or decorative as we see dream catchers today. So keep that in mind, that they wasted nothing. There was never a night where a child said, I'm not hungry, I'm not eating this, and we throw the food away. That never happened back then. They wasted nothing. Everything was used and everything was eaten. They knew how to respect the land, and they knew how to respect the goods that were given to them from wherever the source is from. Okay, so when you make a dream catcher, the circular part I told you is representative of the earth's form. The weave is what catches the bad dreams. This makes it safe. If you were an infant, it would hang above your cradle or your crib, whichever it was. So it would catch the bad dreams, and then you would have feathers hanging down off the dream catcher. The feathers were for the good dreams to descend down onto the infant. So you have the woven part that catches the bad dreams, and the feathers would bring the good dreams down to the babies and the adults as well. So how about we get started with our dream catchers? I sent some things to your class, and if you're not in class, they'll be sent home to you, so not to worry. All right, we're going to start. We have a paper plate. This is a very strong paper plate. It's not going to be an easy project. It's going to take time, so just relax and don't get frustrated, and ask for help if you need help. I know you're going to need it, so don't worry about that. This is a strong plate, so your dream catcher will last forever. So you're going to get one plate. Put that up there. You're also going to get this printout. You're going to need this. This is going to tell you where to put the holes in your plate. This is a very important template. And this is the design we're going to weave into our dream catcher. And if you follow the numbers, 1, 2, 3, your pattern will come out just like this. I promise. I also sent you Ojibwe pictograph symbols. Back then they didn't have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, the whole alphabet. They had different ways of communicating with each other, and some of these symbols are some of the ways they did that. I sent one of my dream catchers into your classroom for you to see. I used some of the symbols to decorate my dream catcher. I believe I used the arrow and maybe the tents for their huts. You could use some of these symbols, or you could just decorate it any way you choose. But I wanted you to have this, okay? I'm sending you each 3 feathers, 3 different colors. There's nothing symbolic about the colors for this project, so I sent you 3. You're also getting a cord, which we're going to use for our weaving, and I each sent you beads. You have silver and green beads. If I had other colored beads, I would have sent them as well. If you have more beads at home or in your classroom, you can use them too. You don't have to use just the amount that I gave you. Okay? So, what I want to do is I'm going to bring the screen down so you can see me working at my desk. The first thing you need to do is you're going to cut out this template. But when you cut it out, make sure that you leave the number 12 on. Don't cut the 12 off. You see how I cut around it? Cut around the number 12. All right, so that's the first thing we need to do, is cut the template out and leave the number 12 in. Okay? Next, what we need to do is we're just going to place this on our paper plate and hold it in place. Do not let it move. If you feel you need to tape it down, tape it down. Now I'm going to bring you down to my desk because I need for you to see what I'm doing, all right? Here we go. Okay, so here is your paper plate, and here is that template that I'm just laying right inside my plate. Each one of these numbers are going to be where the holes on the ledge or edge of your paper plate are going to go. So it's very important that this paper stays in place in order to get this kind of a design on your dream catcher when it's done. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll a piece of tape, put it on the back, and then tape it right in the center just so I know it's not going to move. I don't have any worries that it's going to move. So go ahead and do that. Tape that down. All right, now this is the most important part. We need to mark where our holes are going to go. Find something like, if you have a ruler, that's fine. That's just a little big to work with. If you could find something smaller, that's easy to work with. I got a piece of paper here. I'm just going to use this piece of paper. It's just a straight edge. I need a straight edge because what I need to do is take this number. See where this point is right here on? Here's the number and there's a point right below it. I want to line this up with the number and my plate and go all the way to the edge and make a mark. This is where my first hole is going to be. You see that? That's my first hole. So I'm putting X marks the spot. I want to make sure it's aligned with this point, this number, and the edge of my plate. And I'm going to continue that. If you feel you don't need anything to align it, like I'm using this piece of paper, or you might use a ruler, don't worry, then don't use it. I prefer to use this so I know I'm doing it exactly right. What I do is I put my pencil down where the point is. I hold it there. I line up the paper with the number, and then I go straight up, and then I know where my X goes, right here, because that's where my hole is going to go. And I'm going to continue this all the way around. Okay, I had to go to the front door. Somebody was at the door, I'm sorry. And I'm just going around my paper plate, marking where the numbers are, and that's where my X is going to go, because that's where later on I'm going to puncture a hole there. All right, now we need to number them. So I'm going to turn it right side up so I could see my numbers and write them. Here I have the number 1 and the number 12, so I'm going to write 1 and I'm going to write 12. Here's 4, 7, 10, 2, 5, 8, 11, 3, 6, and 9. Okay? Now, if you're in class, we don't need that anymore. We can put that away. You would get a hole puncher, and you're now going to punch a hole where all your X's are. Wherever you made an X, you're going to puncture a hole. You can have your teacher help you, because you need some muscle to do this one. Let me get rid of all these little holes. Okay. If you don't have a hole puncher, you're going to, if you're home and you don't have a hole puncher, you need to have an adult help you, because you might have to use a scissor to puncture a hole, and I don't want you doing that alone because that's dangerous. So please have an adult help you. Okay, so wherever there was an X, we now have a hole. Okay? Everybody see that? Very good. Now here's the next hard part. We need to cut out the center. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make my circle where I need to cut out. If you just roll your pencil on the inside of this plate, it automatically just goes along the edge. It's curved, and where it's curved, my pencil sits. So I don't even have to trace it. It's so easy. And what I need to do now is I'm going to press on one side and fold my plate over. Why? Because I want to cut into the center. Use two hands and cut like a V, a big V. Why? Why am I doing this? Well, you're going to see. I'm doing this because it allows me to get inside the plate and make it easier for me to cut the inside out. So whatever works best for you, however you can do it, do it. Make it easy on yourself. I'm holding one end as I'm cutting with the other hand, and I'm just going in a circle. Doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't even have to be on the line. long as we have a circular opening when we're done. So watch what I have. You see that? This is the side that you're going to see, and this is the back end. So we don't need this anymore, so we could discard that. Now I gave each of you a string to work with. What we need to do now is we'll find the number 1. Where is the number 1 on our circle? Right here, right next to the 12. This is going to be the first place I'm going to thread, and it's also going to be the last place. So let's put this through the number 1. But now we have to tie it in a knot because it's got to stay here. So let's just tie this in a knot. Make it a double knot to make sure it stays. Okay, where is the number 2? Here's my number 2. So now I got to find the end of my cord, which is really a pain in the neck because it's so long. And I'm going to put it through the number 2 hole and then pull all this cord through it. And take your time because you don't want to get your cord all knotted up. All right, so that's through number 2. Now I need to find number 3. Here's my number 3. So I'm going to just come right across the top of my dreamcatcher circle, and I'm going to put my cord through number 3. And then pull that through the hole. Trying to be careful not to knot up the cord. You don't want to get it all knotted. Take your time. And then just gently pull to make sure the cord is nice and tight. Now let's find number 4. Here's number 4. So now I'm going to bring my cord across my dream catcher again. And we're going to go into number 4. Notice I haven't lifted my plate up once. It's staying flat on the table. There's number 4. Oh, and you can see the shape. The design is already forming. Where's number 5? 5 is down here. So let's now go across the dream catcher into number 5. Here we go, number 5. Now, if you're at home or if you're at school and you have extra beads, aside from the beads that I sent you, because you're going to need the beads that I sent you for your feathers, this is a good time to start adding them to your dream catcher. I'm going to do that just to show you what I mean. While I'm weaving, I'm going to put some beads in. See, I just threaded a bead onto my cord, and it's right there. You see it? So now I have to go to hole number 6, which is over here. And I'm going to put number 6, the thread right through number 6, and pull. And I have a decorative bead interacting with my weave. Now let's find number 7. Maybe I'll put another bead on. Or if I had a charm, I'd put a charm on. Maybe I'll put a green bead in this time. So I threaded a bead before I went into hole number 7. This is only if you have extra beads or if you want to have less beads by your feathers, because I gave you 3 for each feather. So if you want 2 for each feather, then you could add some beads into your weave. And I can move this bead over on that side if I want. So now I have 7, we have to go to number 8. So it's just a matter of counting. If you know how to count to 12, you're going to be able to thread your dream catcher and weave it the way the design is on our template. This is a very easy application. Where's number 9? Up here. Remember I put the line over underneath it so I don't think it's a 6. Now it's going to come straight across. Oh, I didn't put a hole there. I got to add a hole here to number 9. Let me put my thread through number 9. Oh, you know what, guys? I'm so stupid. Well, I'm not stupid. I'm silly. Stupid's not a good word. We didn't decorate our dream catchers first, but we could still go back and decorate them. Let's cross over to number 10. And the last, no, not last, here's number 11. And the last one's going to be 12. And last but not least, number 12. Look at the great pattern on our dream catcher. How beautiful is this, huh? All right, so let me tie the end. You have to tie the end in a knot, but make sure your rope is tight before you make that knot, okay? Have your teacher help you if you need help, because it's important that you keep this weave nice and tight, otherwise it may not catch all the bad dreams. See, mine's a little loose, so I gotta make it a little tighter. Okay, good. Very good. Oh my gosh, let me pull this up because this came out so beautiful. I'm very excited. I don't know about you, but I love this. So here I have my dream catcher. Amazing. Look how great that came out. Does this look like the template that I sent you? I'd say so. I'd say exactly. But we're not done. We can go back and decorate. I'm not worried about that because this is the side you're going to decorate right here. And it's going to be beautiful. So now you should have a lot of cord left on your dream catcher. I want you to leave some to hang your dream catcher. This is a good amount right here, and then cut it because you're going to need 3 strings hanging down from your dream catcher. All right? I'm going to cut 1, 2, 3. You want 2 to be longer. I'm sorry, 2 to be shorter than the third one. The third one's going to be a little bit longer. So let me just cut mine. I'm going to make them a little shorter than the sample I sent in to your teacher because I think I made them too long with the sample. I think that shorter ones will look really nice. All right, so I have 3 separate cords, and I'm going to pick where I want them to descend from. And you can decide, it's up to you, whichever you want to do. So this is the way my dream catcher is hanging. So I think I might even add a center hole in between here because that's like the very bottom center. And I'd like it to stay balanced. So I'm going to add a little hole here between the 8 and the 5 for my dream catcher. Yours might be different, so don't go by my numbers. So I'm just going to puncture another hole. You need muscle for this. I don't have muscle. Oh, I did make a hole. Let me make it go all the way through, though. These things are crazy. I don't know. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Okay, so I have a hole here, and that's where I want to thread my first feather. So I'm going to string this through the hole, just like we did. Let me bring you down. I'm sorry. Come on down. Okay. So I put it through an extra hole that I made because I want it to stay even. I'm going to tie the knot, make sure it stays. There we go. See that? So this string is hanging. So I gave you each 3 beads, silver and green and silver. That's the pattern I'm making. You can make whatever you want. You could choose whatever pattern you want to do. So here I have 3 beads, right? So I'm going to need to make sure these beads stay here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one of my feathers. Where did I put my feathers? Here we go. I got a feather. And I'm going to put some glue on my feather. Just the bottom. You only want to put the glue on the bottom of the feather. See this? You see how I just put some glue on the bottom of my feather? And then I'm going to thread the end of the feather through to my beads. See, I have these beads here. Holding the beads in my hand, and now I'm sticking the feather through the beads just like the cord. It comes out through the top. I'm going to take my cord, whoopsie, and just tug on it a little bit. It's behind my feather. You can't see it. It's behind the feather. And I'm just going to let this dry. That'll hold my beads in place, and it'll also hold the feather in place. Okay? So let me bring you back up. We don't even have to tie a knot because the glue's going to hold everything in place when it's dry. Okay? If you want to make it shorter, which I think I'm going to do, I'm going to just go up to where I tied the knot and make it a little bit shorter. I don't like these long hanging ones. I like the feathers to be closer to the circle rather than hanging really low. And that's just my taste. You can make yours hanging as low as you want or as high as you want, but I just like a shorter rope on mine. Let me see. How does that look now? Yeah, see, it's a little shorter. So I'm going to trim the excess. So come on back down. We're going to do the other two. Ready? Okay. All right, so let's thread. I'm going to choose where I want my two sides to hang. I'm going to skip one circle or one hole and go to the next one. And that's where I'm going to put one of them. Tie my knot. I'm going to make a double knot, make sure it stays. And then I'm also going to go 2 dots over for the other side. Put that through the hole. I love these dream catchers. They're just so beautiful. Okay, so I have 2 strings hanging, so I need to bead them. Silver, green, silver. Get my second feather. Oops, sorry, I have them up on my ledge here. Put a little glue on the edge of the feather so we can glue everything in place. Thread my feather through my beads. Just like I did the cord, 1 bead at a time. We'll just let that sit and dry. And we do the same thing on the other side. Silver, green, silver, and my last feather, which is red. The glue on my feather, stick it through the beads, just like we did to the other side. 1, 2. Hi guys, I'm sorry, but my computer shut down, so I have to pick up where I left off. We left off where we were gluing the feathers to our dream catcher. It turned out mine were a little bit even, so all I'm going to do is I'm just going to adjust my rope up at the top, or I actually like them looking even. I don't think that's a problem. And that's your artistic decision. You can decide. So here we have our completed dream catcher with this great pattern that we wove in together. If you had extra beads at home, or if you want to use less by your feathers, you could put the beads within our weave, hang it up. Now, here's the outer part of our dream catcher. You may decorate it now any way you choose. You can use markers, which works really well with this paper plate because it's a nice solid plate. It's very sturdy, and the markers will show up nice on the plate. You can paint it with watercolor. That's what I did with mine. You could use crayons. You could do whatever you want. I sent you the symbols, so if you want to incorporate any of the Ojibwe symbols into your dream catcher, feel free. This is where your artistic decisions come in. So here we have it, your dream catcher. The web stops all the bad dreams from coming in, and it releases them at the end of the night. And the feathers descend all the all the good dreams down to the infant or the adult, descend, bringing them down. So I think this turned out really beautiful, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I can't wait to see how you decorate the outer part of your dream catcher. Please send me copies or give your teacher a copy or have her take a picture so she can send them to me, because I really enjoy this project. I just want you to be careful. Make sure when it comes time to cut at the center and make these holes, you have either an adult with you to help you, or you use your teacher's hole puncher. Okay? All right, guys. Enjoy your lessons on Native Americans. It's such a cool subject matter. Have fun. Learn as much as you can. And I'm going to follow up with a little sheet about the Ojibwe Indians, because I want you to remember about them and enjoy it. Okay? All right. This is Miss Lisa, your art teacher, saying ciao for now, and I'll see you guys next week. Okay? All right. Take care, guys. I miss you so, so much, and I'll see you soon, I promise. Okay? Bye-bye.